Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. I am going to address an issue that's come up a few times regarding a few fairly recent fights. A while back, Chinese fighter Zhang Weili won a UFC world title. She beat Jessica Andrade, and there was a bit of controversy in some of the comments. In a video I posted about this, they said Zhang Weili cheated because she hit her opponent in the back of the head with her elbows. Let's take a brief look at that clip right here. Let me explain something to you. As a professional mixed martial arts referee, you have to be very familiar with the rules and the bite rules. The rules do state no striking the back of the head, the neck, the spine, the groin. Okay? There are by rules, however. You're also not allowed to strike the throat, but there's a by rule about that as well. In the stand-up portion of a fight, if a strike to the throat happens, it is incidental. If one fighter is not intelligently defending themselves and they are sticking their head, their chin way up here, and their opponent throws a combination, one of those strikes lands right on the trachea, it's their own fault. It is to be considered a fair and legal blow. Same thing with the back of the head. If I am throwing a combination at you, we're facing each other, we're squared off, as a fight should be. But then, I do something really dumb, and I turn my head around, exposing the back of my head to you. And while throwing your combination, boom, one of your elbows, or two of your elbows, or three of the elbows, or whatever, starts clubbing me in the back of the head because I was dumb enough to not intelligently defend myself in a position where I should have. In the stand-up portion of the fight, it is to be considered a fair and legal blow. Now, have you ever seen a UFC match where a foul was called in the stand-up portion of a fight for a throat punch? The answer is no. No, you haven't. It's never, ever happened. In order for that foul to be called, it would have to be so obvious and so flagrant and so deliberate and purposeful. For example, if you had somebody pinned up against the fence and they were in a near helpless condition, and you lifted their chin way up and then quite obviously repeatedly throat punched them, yes, the referee would step in there and call that a foul. If you're squared off and you throw a combination and a punch or a kick lands there, fair, clean, and legal blow. Same thing with the back of the head. If I take my opponent's back, I get behind them. I arm drag them. I get behind them. Boom! And I start throwing elbows at the back of my opponent's head in the stand-up portion of the fight or on the ground. Obviously, this is intentional damage to the back of the head. Yes, the referee will step in and call that a foul. If I'm squared off with my opponent, I am throwing combinations and they turn their back to me, and one or more of those strikes from that combination lands on the back of the head, it is a fair and legal blow, no foul. Surprise! The rules of mixed martial arts are a lot more permissive than a lot of people seem to think. Almost on a daily basis, I get a message from somebody, usually more than one, saying, well, if kicks to the knee were legal, then my style of martial arts would rule in MMA. Except that kicks to the knee are perfectly legal. There's this fantasy among a lot of people who seem to think that if you kick a knee, the knee will explode and the fight will instantly be over. And yet this happens all the time in MMA. The knee is a fairly small target. So first of all, hitting it with a side kick or a front kick or an oblique kick is not an easy task, but it does happen. and the fight goes on. Most of the time. So it's not this magic off button that a lot of people seem to think it is. Yeah, man, the rules of mixed martial arts are a lot more permissive than people seem to think. There are a few stupid rules that need to go. 12 to 6 elbow, I'm looking at you. Anyway, there's my clarification. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train and learn the rules of the sport.